What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bourbon Ballistics Podcast, where we talk a little about whiskey, a little about firearms, and a whole lot of everything in between. Today's episode is all about craftsmanship, entrepreneurship, and the people who still believe in building things the right way. Joining me on the show today is Phil Licciardi, founder of Liberty Mountain Fabrication. Phil has built a reputation in the fabrication and off-road communities through years of hard work, problem solving, and a commitment to quality. From custom fab and suspension tuning to helping customers get the most out of their vehicles, Phil represents a mindset that values skill, experience, and earning your reputation through your results. We're going to dive into Phil's journey as a business owner, discuss the current state of the skilled trades, explore the lessons learned from working with your hands, and talk about what it takes to build a successful company in a world that often looks for shortcuts. And because this is a Bourbon Ballistics podcast, we are pairing that conversation with a bottle that feels right at home in the garage, the Garage Oil American Badass Whiskey. Inspired by the builders, mechanics, gearheads, and blue-collar Americans who keep this country moving, Garage Oil has built a brand that celebrates grit, craftsmanship, and getting the job done. It's a fitting pour for the conversation centered around self-reliance, hard work, and creating something that lasts. So pour yourself a glass, settle in, and join us as we sit down with Phil Licciardi of Liberty Mountain Fabrication. This is the Bourbon Ballistics Podcast.
I'm not always right, but usually I can get names pretty good and close, unless it's an origin I've never even heard of before. You know.
So you're, are you full-blooded Italian?
No, half Irish. My mom's
Irish, okay,
so
all right.
There's probably some other stuff in there, but I never did anything about that.
Yeah.
You know, never 23andMe'd it or anything.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for swinging by. I appreciate you making the trip. Or did you end up bringing the side by side?
No,
you drove.
Dude, it's 100 degrees out.
Dude, I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's when I had that idea, like it was still because the shop stays really cool, and for the most of the day, and then it was getting pretty hot when I'm like getting ready. I'm like, this ain't gonna fucking work.
Yeah.
So I brought the Gladiator so I could take dirt halfway home. You know.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking. I was telling Bree earlier this week. He was like, yeah, it'd be really nice because he doesn't have to actually hit pavement if he brings it side by side. But again, 100 degrees,
right.
not that fun of a ride.
Yeah.
So you got Polaris? Excuse me.
I ended up getting a new Maverick R. I had like the same thing
you?
Bryce had, the Polaris Turbo S before. Yeah, that was a good machine, but the Maverick R is it's a different level. It's like full on Class 1 style race car.
Wild.
From factory.
And have you had a chance? Have you already started digging into it, or
I have everything sitting there to tune it, and I just haven't made time. I got so much stuff in the way right
other
now.
People's stuff that pay you money to do? Yeah, start there.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot to cover today with you. You're a fabricator. I've hung out with you multiple times now, mutual friend of ours, and never actually had the time to sit down and actually have a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
And so, Bryce had reached out and said, you might want to talk to Phil and see if he wants to come on the show. And so I thank you for making the time to do that.
No problem.
We have a really interesting, very cool bottle for the show today. It's the Garage Oil's American Badass Whiskey. And unfortunately, I had reached out to the company a week or two ago to try to get some background information to bring into the show. The president wrote me back. I didn't see it until this morning, and so unfortunately, Ron had kind of wanted to do like a pre-show interview. So what we're going to do instead, Ron, is we'll have you and I sit down on the show, and you can actually go through and talk about the history of the bottle. So what we'll do today is we're just going to dig into it and see how it is. It's a very cool, chop shop-esque lowrider. It's cool. It's a 80 proof out of Texas. It's Milliam County is what I could find on the internet. So we'll let Ron do all the work on that. But it's kind of like a little gas pump. So I thought that was pretty cool. So we'll get this poured up, and we'll get into your story, because I am curious to know how you got to be who and where you are.
Yeah, glad to. We get halfway into that bottle, we might have to give the owner a call, see what happens.
So let's just talk about, so as a fabricator, you've been doing this for how long?
Geez, I guess I started probably in 1998. And then if I do the math on that, I'll feel a little bit attacked at how old I am.
Mm-hmm. It goes quick.
Yeah, 45 years old now, so however long that is, it's I'm not much of a fabricator anymore. Mostly just a shop guy at this point, but
Okay.
yeah, I can still whip a little rod. I can still TIG okay. MIG welder's been a little bit of drama lately, but I'm getting some power stuff sorted out of the house, and it's getting a whole lot cleaner again.
So how did you start off with then?
Fabricating?
Yeah.
So I think I was trying to put together a Jeep back in high school, and I went over to the Home Depot, got myself a Lincoln Weld Pack 100. That's the absolute cheapest machine you could get. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Plugs into 110, pull the trigger, it'll make some welds. Oh boy, yeah. You have to be a skilled welder to make a Weld Pack 100 do anything, and I was absolutely not that at the time. So I kind of fast forwarded a little bit. Like I did a couple little jobs for people, made a couple bucks, and I bought a Miller-Matic 185. That was like an intro to a full, big case, proper welder. And that, you didn't even have to be good at anything to get that thing to lay out. So
Does it work for you?
yeah, that did great. And then, just kind of ramped up, bought tools as I could, and that was it. Next thing you know, that was my business, and I moved that business to Chico when I went to college, and I ran a shop the whole time I was there.
What'd you go to college for?
Oh boy, all kinds of stuff. Start out with business, which I should have just stuck with. Then I switched to English for absolutely no reason other than I was pretty good at it at the time. Then I switched to philosophy. Then I learned a lot about philosophers, and then I stopped going to college. Yeah, don't get too far down that rabbit hole with the philosophers. They're bad people.
Oh, it's funny how that works, huh?
Yeah.
So your company now is what? We got the hat right here.
That's Liberty Mountain Fabrication.
And the logo is so cool. You designed that yourself?
I did not. My buddy
okay.
Pat Milo is one of the most talented people I've ever met with that kind of stuff. I told him what I wanted. I was like, Lady Liberty, rifle. I was like, tire, welding gun, all this stuff. He's like, that's too busy. You're stupid. And he made that, and that just kind of took the world by storm.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Very talented fella.
Very cool. All right, so Chico college, get done. Not really your thing.
No, I didn't enjoy school at all. It was miserable, and I was up there for the party. And then after a while, I had my shop that was fully functional there, so I did that for another year, and then moved back down to the Sacramento area. There's a lot of stuff in the middle of that.
And let's talk about that for sure.
Are we going to drink this?
Yes, to answer your question, we are going to drink this. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. Let's get a nose on it and see what you think about that.
Cherry?
Very sweet.
I'm not very smart with this stuff. I just like to be a drunk. That's smooth. Nice little afterburn in the nostrils there.
It's got almost like a candy. Yeah, I can see your cherry for sure.
Yeah, it's almost like you had an old fashioned that already had the cherry in it.
Well, that's very good. That could be dangerous. Luckily, it's only 80 proof.
Yeah,
it'll still kick your ass, I bet.
Yeah, I could probably put one of those down pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Ron. That is an excellent pour, and I'm excited to hear the story about the origins of the bottle. So
yeah, super cool.
All right, so back to you.
Oh boy.
So before we get started, because we are talking about the whiskey, what is your level of whiskey drinking? Are you a connoisseur? Are you a collector?
I don't know if I'd go to either of those extents. I know my $50-$60 bottle is pretty good.
Good.
Much above that, I probably didn't buy it. Somebody probably brought it. I mean, I have people bribe me all the time. I've got a couple Jack Daniel's Sinatra Selects, which I guess they're not that crazy now, but I feel like the first person dropped one off. It was like a $500 bottle at the time. So
well, that's cool. Yeah, the Sinatra is It's a good one. I mean, Jack has done an amazing job the last couple of years rolling out this stuff that they've just been hiding forever, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, well, shit, if everyone else is doing this, 10 plus, 12 plus year stuff, let's start doing that in all the selects and
Sure.
amazing stuff. Do you ever go down to Troy's at Battleborn for whiskey snobs class?
I've not been to a class. I've been in his shop quite a bit and bought a bunch of bottles over the years, and fantastic stuff. He's always got something cool I need to try. And
he does.
And he comes, he'll recommend something, and it's like, oh, this is the kind of money you want to spend. Well, we'll give this a go. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, he'll on some of his classes that we've been to, he'll knock out some wild, some Jack Daniel's stuff, and it's always interesting. It's because growing up just drinking the old number 7, right? And I mean, it's not that.
I'll still have a Jack and Coke on a very rare occasion, but I mean my bourbon days or whiskey days are pretty much just like straight up or rocks or whatever, and I kind of prefer it that way. I want to taste it. So like I think the first good Jack I ever had was the Single Barrel Select, and that I was like, this is Jack Daniel's, the same manufacturer, fantastic stuff. I can do that any day. And if anyone's in Virginia City, pop into Silver Dollar Saloon. They've got a bottle there. I don't know if it's still the same, but they were only charging $4 for a shot of that at the time. And that's just, I don't even know how that pays for the bottle unless they're getting the bottle for half price. So pretty impressive.
That's cool. That's always fun.
Yeah.
I like to, when you go to places and they'll have a wide selection of, a good bar, right? And it's not just your run of the mill stuff, and you'll actually be able to get in there and maybe get something you haven't tried before.
Right.
And that does make it very fun.
Absolutely.
All right, so you're back in Sacramento, where we left off with your story.
Okay, I should probably roll back to Chico.
Please.
So I was still going to school. I decided I was going to start being a motorcycle stunt rider, sport bike stunt rider. And I don't know how that happened, but in 6 months it went from I didn't have a sport bike to I was going to compete in stunt wars in Florida. So it's one of those things, you get really good fast or you die or you get terribly injured. I just happened to skirt the death part. So I got pretty good and started competing, and it turned into a situation where I'm not going to go to school anymore. Work is, it's really hard to work. I can actually make some money riding sport bikes and maybe more money than fabricating at the time. So I just started kind of traveling around doing that. And then the best man at my wedding, Brandon Dodd, he, that's a story for later, but he basically sponsored me, gave me a room in his house in Folsom, gave me shop space in Sacramento at one of his warehouses. And so I was able to move down and, work with our club. Like the sport bike club we were in was called Sac Nuts in Sacramento. Imagine that.
Awesome.
Some people might have heard that before. It's a pretty notorious name. And so I was able to just kind of move down into that area and stunt ride and do a little work when I had to. But for the most part, I was just riding and did that for a few years. So that was fun.
The stunting thing's pretty wild.
Yeah, it was a culture shock and quite a different environment than I'd always been kind of in the country scene, dirt bikes and off-road vehicles and whatnot. So then I get into this whole pavement world, and next thing you know, we're like in Compton off Crenshaw Boulevard riding there, and the cops don't mess with you there, and everybody treats you like a celebrity. And, I go back there now, I'd probably get shot, but back there with the right group, they'll treat you awesome.
Interesting.
It's a cool spot.
So were you doing any stunting at events, or this was just the scene?
No, a lot of competition, a lot of different shows. Like we get hired to go do shows and travel around the country and compete. And then we'd film a lot of videos. So I think, I think our club did 3 or 4 videos over the years. And then I think last I counted, I was in 28 videos.
Oh, really?
So I couldn't even name you all of them at this point.
Wow.
Every once in a while I'll find a DVD that I was in or on, and I'm like, all right, this is cool.
Well, that's cool. You have to show me that sometime.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Blast from the past, man. I hung that up in 2006. So, yeah.
Wild. Yeah. So what was the point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore?
When I met Sarah, my wife, it's not a good scene to be in if you're in a relationship. I mean, there's a lot of driving factors to that. Mostly the women that are in that scene make it really difficult for you to be in a relationship. So not necessarily my fault, but they're, pretty bad people. So so it was a good time to get out of that. Plus I didn't want to die anymore. And just I don't know, moved in the direction of just being a more responsible, reasonable human.
It's weird how a good woman will do that to you.
Absolutely. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah, I was just talking. I did a pod last night, and same kind of thing. The guest had a checkered past, and he met his wife now of 42 years, and she cleaned him right up.
Wow.
He gave up a life of that was destined for bad things, and now he's just he's been in a good direction ever since. But it's amazing, and me being in a similar situation, whereas I don't know how bad off I would be right now, but I know I'd be pretty bad off most likely, without Brie in my life. So to a good woman, that's amazing.
Lift you right out of the gutter.
That's right. It's amazing how they do that.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
Mm-hmm. So you met Sarah. Hang up the stunting.
Yep. MySpace. She stalked me on MySpace. That's pretty much how that went down.
They always do.
So we hung up the stunting, and I just kind of focused on fabricating and not making much money. And she had a career with a big bank, and she kind of floated things for a while. And whenever I couldn't come up with the money, she could. And we just kind of built this little empire, and here we are.
What kind of things were you fabricating at the time, like when you first started out?
Almost exclusively off-road vehicles.
Okay.
And then I dabbled in structural because there was a whole lot more money in it. Then I got a couple of union contracts, or what unions the contracts they would have won, because I came in at a quarter of the price and quarter of the time. And they didn't like that. So after a few of those jobs, I got pinched out, and no more structural. I mean, I could have kept doing structural, but it's just not worth the effort.
Whatever, yeah.
It's making it really hard to get paid.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. So what kind of off-road stuff? How, like roll cages?
Yeah, complete vehicles. I mean, I'll build you something from straight tube on the rack. Build an entire race car out of that, whatever you want. Or, I'll build a cage. I'll do custom fenders on stuff. I'll link suspension, full frames, whatever you need.
So even sheet metal stuff too.
I'm not good at sheet metal.
Okay.
I can do some
really impressive
aluminum tin work stuff and whatnot, but as far as sheet metal goes, I usually farm that out to people that are way better than me
and know what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm more like give me the big iron, and I'll make magic with that. But other than that, it's not my jam.
So how many times have you upgraded your welder since the very first Home Depot special?
Jeez, I've probably had 30 welders
since
then. Not good or bad, but always chasing some kind of dragon, or you got a couple of welders, and then I needed money, so I sell it. Then I want another welder again when I get that was definitely a struggle for a long time, trying to build this into a useful business. So money was just always tight. Always robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like honestly, like most fab shop or most off-road fab shops are on that program, and I hated living like that, but that's just how it was. Somebody always kind of got the raw end, and I did the best I could with what I had, and it was miserable. But made a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, and you got that displayed all over the shop. Some of your creations.
Yeah. There's I wish I had more just hard pictures of stuff. I've got an old hard drive that has tons of my old work on it. I just, I'd have to figure out how to get that plugged into, what is that, like an Apple IIe or something like that? I don't know.
That's one of the hard things, I think, with all the podcast stuff, I throw it onto a hard drive. And then I go back, and when I need to get clear memory on the camera, I'll throw everything onto the hard drive.
There you go.
I'll go back and clean it up later. And now it's like the hard drive's full, and I haven't cleaned up anything. And now I have, 5 terabytes of shit I have to go through and actually clean out, because none of it a lot of it can go.
Yeah.
But now I'm, so I really messed up on that. But
yeah, you got to at least look at it. I mean, that sounds like a job in itself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But, it's cool. I think the idea is that someday, we'll plug in the hard drive and go through the pictures, Bree and I will, and look at all the kids stuff that we have on there, and all that, and hopefully be able to relive some of that once we get older. I think, that'll be a job for then, I think, for retirement.
Absolutely. yeah, it'll be nice reminiscing on the past and seeing what all you accomplished.
So what's some of the cool stuff that memorable, notable stuff that you've done in your career, that you've made?
Well, I guess probably one of the bigger things I did was back in 2011, my buddy Doug, he wanted to race Ultra 4. So I built my first race car. And I guess the most notable part of that is it went from tube on the rack to a running, driving race car in less than 2 months. I couldn't do that now if I absolutely had to. There's just no possible way that I could work those hours, or my body just yield on me. It's game over. But it was really cool at the time doing that. And we're just like, yeah, we got it all slapped together. I don't remember who came down and got the wiring hooked up. Maybe my buddy Vanderveen did that, or maybe Doug wired that car. I don't remember. But kick the tires and light the fires all in the shop, and that thing went straight from the shop to the desert and got tested. So
wow,
I was pretty happy with that. It was a terrible car. It was hideously built, design. I built a rule book, and if you read the rule book, you're like, everything has to be a box. It's got to be ugly. Not the case at all. I mean, there's a lot of implied things with that you can kind of work around different stuff. So yeah, I built that car, went out, we raced King of the Hammers 2012 for the first time, finished that race. And I think that was the only time that car finished King of the Hammers. But it was really cool to get it done in time. Doug sat behind the wheel all day and got it wrapped up. Next year we weren't so lucky, and the year after that cut the car up and remodeled it, made it into this very, very beautiful car that's still a beautiful car today. That it's not a race car anymore. It's been decommissioned to a trail rig, but it's still awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. So prior to that, you'd been doing King of the Hammers for a while?
No, my first time going to King of the Hammers was 2011. Oh yeah, sure. Was 2011. Just went down there on dirt bikes. Just messing around. Wanted to kind of get a vibe. I mean, it was only 3 years in for that event. 3 years.
Oh, it's that okay?
Publicly, it was brand new at the time. I think 07 was the OG 13 went and raced it. And then I think 08 was like the first year. Something like that. 07, 08 was when it started. And went down there, was just mesmerized by the whole program. Watched a lot of my friends who had leveraged their lives to do this. Just heartbreak, disappointment, cars broken. They need to fix stuff overnight after qualifying. I'm just like helping everybody, trying to weld. I'm just watching drivers and co-drivers fight with each other. And that side of things was miserable, and I'm just over here drunk helping out. And I got not a care in the world, so all I can do is try to help. And I left that event, said to myself, I was like, I am never getting involved in this. I'm not going to do a car. I'm not going to go race. I will go down here and entertain myself, but I'm not going to ever be involved. And then a couple months later, Doug calls me, and Doug's one of my oldest friends and best friends in this world. And he's like, hey, you want to build a race car? And I was like, for you? He's all, yeah, and you're going to co-drive. I'm like, I will do that, because he's one of the most easygoing people you ever met, and he can fund stuff and whatever, and he's just a fantastic human. So I had no qualms with building a car for him, and we had a blast. We had some adversity, but we had a blast making it happen.
For those that don't know, can you explain what King of the Hammers actually is?
Yeah, I can. You guys have probably heard of Burning Man, right? This is Burning Man for right-wingers, or Burning Man for off-road. Basically, it's rock crawling and desert racing melded into one program, but mostly partying. Like, you only race a little bit. You mostly party. So, not now anymore, because all I do down there is work. But before, it was just a whole lot of partying.
Huh.
Yeah. So,
how long is the race? Is it always the same course?
No. They change it every year. I could say for this year, it's pretty interesting. Being local right here, we've got 4-time King of the Hammer winner Randy Slauson. That was pretty dang cool. He was one of 2 people to finish the race this year. The course won this year. The course was absolutely brutal. Like last year, a side-by-side won, a new Can-Am Maverick R with a CT Raceworks chassis, everything like fully, $200,000 side-by-side, but it still won, and that made a lot of people mad, including the guy who owns King of the Hammers, Dave Cole, and he's like, well, we're going to make it so a delicate vehicle cannot win this next time, and it took everyone out.
Really?
We left race day this year, I think 5 a.m. we pulled out of Hammertown, and we're watching the race as, driving home. Probably not supposed to be, but anyways, we're on our way home and we're watching the race, get home, go to lunch, come back, race is still going. I mean, this race used to end typically by 2 p.m., 3 p.m., like the winners would be in. I don't even know what time it finished, but I got home, got my entire life back together, trailers dumped, cleaned up, parked, everything's put away. They're still racing. We go to dinner, come back, they're still racing.
Good Lord.
I know it was well after dark. It might have been 8 or 9 p.m. I know they extended the finish time of the race, but still, it was still just, I want to say Josh Blyler was second place and Randy was first. And those were the only 2 people that crossed the line in time, which is insane.
How many applicants? How many people are in the race?
In 4,400 class, that's the big boy class. The folks that left that line, I couldn't be for sure. Somewhere between 100 and probably 150 cars.
Wow.
I might be off. I don't pay enough attention.
But still a lot.
It's a lot of cars, a lot of atrophy, a lot of adversity. It was brutal. It was brutal. I didn't even enjoy watching it at the end. It was just cringy. Like there was just, you're watching $1 million vehicles just being destroyed out there because these last few trails were just so violent. Nobody was getting it done.
So what do you think what does that look like for next year? Do you think what does he do? Does he just double down?
I don't know if that's the answer, or scale it back a little bit, or hope people got their program a little more aimed towards this kind of level of activity. This was wild. It was really strong. I mean, some of the baddest people out there just done, game over early, and good or bad. I mean, it was an eye opener, and some people will probably change up their game a little bit. You didn't have to have the fastest car by any means this year. You had to have the most durable and maybe best rock crawling ability, best co-driver, and I mean, this was not a single-seater race. So there's a lot of single-seater racers out there that do really well. Some win, finish, whatever. This was not that year. There was so much winch work. You needed a co-driver. You needed 3 co-drivers, ideally. That would have been cool, but no, it's not a thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I've watched. Last year with the Can-Am, because that's what I have. I don't have that cool Can-Am, but I have a Can-Am.
Nice.
And anyway, so when the Maverick R came out, and then CT did what they did to it, and it was following CT. It's like, oh, this thing's bad, right? Oh, yeah. And then to see how well it performed, it was just neat to watch, and it kind of gives you this false sense of security, knowing that my car could totally do that, right? Knowing that my car totally can't do that,
Yeah, enough metric dollars jammed into them. They all, I mean, so you have an X3 then? Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, that's still probably the most winningest side-by-side ever built. They're absolute weapons. So you can't be mad at that. I mean, the Maverick R is a whole new level, and it's just a much bigger machine. They're almost not side-by-sides anymore.
Right. And they definitely don't cost that.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's, I paid accordingly for mine, and it was worth every dang penny.
Yeah.
And I tell you, from a guy who builds off-road race cars, I don't need to build those anymore. The Maverick R scratches the itch in every way, shape, and form so far. Granted, it's not going to be durable like a proper built Ultra 4 car, but if you drive it like it's a side-by-side still, where you're not hitting everything in the trail and actually pay attention to what you're doing, it'll, probably stand the test of time too.
I think one of the things that you see, and out here is interesting, because you can go from real desert to real rocky to creeks to rivers to all this. So we have a lot of stuff that the trails can throw at you. And I think that, from what I've done with mine, I've always been really impressed at how well it does, in anything, any trail, it doesn't matter. And I think it's neat just to watch how far we've come. But like you said, they're priced accordingly. Right. That makes it tough. I think that the new ones have definitely outpriced a lot of people in the market to try to get those. And now you're going to see how that works out, I guess.
Sure, and that's a thing. You know, that the Pro Rs are huge, the Turbo Rs are huge, the Maverick R is huge. But if you want a side by side, I mean, your X3s and your Turbo S, those are still, there's tons out there, and they're bargains.
Yeah.
Bryce has a Turbo S for sale for pennies if anyone's shopping.
It's a nice one.
It's a fantastic unit, and it's a race car, so you can't be mad at that at all. And they fit a lot better in places than the big cars do. I mean, my Maverick R, geez, it's as big as an Ultra 4 car. It's freaking huge, and I don't know. I have an X3 as well right now as a little trade deal. I got to get that thing sold, but I might do a light build on it before. I mean, it's an RC version, so it's a really good rock crawler. It's another killer King of the Hammers car. It's like, how are you going to be mad at that? You get in that thing, you don't have to, you put it in gear, stand on the go pedal, the clutching, the belt stuff, it's all fairly reliable in that kind of stuff. I mean, the thing, you're not supposed to go down the highway with it, but they'll go 100 down the highway,
They rip, yeah.
Perfectly fine, and then they hit every different kind of dirt environment, rock environment, just fine too. It's like, it's just it's a Swiss Army knife of a machine.
It's just the RC that I've seen it. That's a 2-seater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is yours a 2-seater?
Yeah.
That's the only way to go for you. Yeah.
It's the 4-seaters are, that's a lot to get in the trailer.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ours is a 4-seater.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like we'll go do trails with. I'll go with a bunch of 2-seaters, and it's like there's a couple of us that have 4-seaters, and we're doing like Austin Powers around some of the trails. Right. It's like, on the radio is like waiting for the limousines, just trying to make it around the trees, So I sometimes, now especially because the kids don't come, it would be nice to have a little bit shorter rig, but I also like the wheelbase when we're going through the whoops and stuff.
It's hard to upset them. If you're climbing, you're descending. Whoops, you get a little out of shape. You're not that out of shape. The rear end's still in a different zip code.
Right.
It's fine. You're just rolling.
Yeah.
So it's those are great machines. Plus, you could take the 4-seater, you could put it on portals and 40-inch tires and all this stuff, and you could. What do you want it to do? You name it, go anywhere. So it's just cool stuff.
So I wanted to ask you too, because when you got into fabricating, how did you have somebody like a role model or somebody that was doing that? How did you get into that? How did you get into that path? How did you know you were good at it?
I wasn't good at it.
But you had to have some sort of a touch.
Just want something enough, go out and get it, or put yourself in a position where you don't really have any other choice, and just figure it out. I don't know that I was ever really good, but I could build stuff, and I could make whole vehicles if I had to, and finish something up. Here's your thing, and it goes out there and works really good. Then something you don't like, change it the next time, try to get better. Just always trying to self-improve, but within the realm of making enough money to keep doing it. So
I think it is neat. Fabrication's cool because I watch my friend Corey, he'll need something, and whatever the thing is, and he can go in and MacGyver something up with some lane parts that he has to make this tool that does the job. And it's just neat to be able to have that. I obviously don't, I can do that sometimes shittily in carpentry, but as far as fabricating something up for him, more mechanically inclined. So it's very cool. I think for you is it'd be really cool if this thing did, XYZ, and you can make it do XYZ is awesome.
Right. It's slow progression to that point where now I'm pretty confident I can sort out most stuff, whether it's, I've got pretty decent amount of machine equipment in the shop too, where I can make this, that, and the other. I have not, we haven't gotten into the shock thing yet, but eventually I'd like to maybe manufacture some stuff. If not complete shocks, just some parts and pieces that some of the manufacturers make it really hard to get. So it'd be nice to be able to supply my own stuff instead of waiting. I do it now, I just don't do it well, and I don't do it fast or efficiently. So I can hack my way through, making a shock shaft or something like that. But it'd be nice to be able to do it really fast. Be like, here's a nice quality piece done in short order. So,
how big's your shop?
It's just a 40 by 50, so 2,000 feet. Not big enough.
Yeah,
you should see it right. It's not cool right now. It is full of side by sides. My Jeep, my Ranger that should have been done in 2020, and all stacks of parts, pieces, and it's miserable.
I was going to say, how many open open projects do you have right now? But it sounds like it's
A lot.
it's done. Yeah.
It's not a good place to be.
Terrible business model.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got one side by side done this morning, and then I got started on this other one. And then when you told me 2:00, and I'm fighting this thing, and I'm just like, you know what? I think it seems like a great time to not work on this anymore. So here we are.
I feel like the weather is kind of doing that to everybody too. It's like, nah, it could wait.
Sure.
Not right now.
Next week's looking pretty sweet.
I know. Getting really excited. Yeah. We've been, if you're not in Northern Nevada, we've been just hovering around 100, and it's just been consistently 100 degrees, and it's dry and it's breezy, and it's just no humidity, which I guess sometimes can be good, but it's we're just ready for, I think, just bring some fall on, just something different.
Yeah, sounds great. I mean, this is the Bourbon and Batwings podcast today. So. Yeah, it hasn't been just hovering like 100 for, I've been here for 12 years now. And that's been a hot week, and I like the heat better than the cold.
Yeah,
but not as much.
Right. At least it would, if it would cool off long enough. It's like I can leave for work in the morning and it's in the low 50s, which is great. Yeah. But then seriously, by 9:00, it's already 80 something, and it comes so quick and then just stays there and hovers until bedtime. And so, yeah, it's just a little tiring, and we'll see, if that, I'll be biting my words here with this winter, if anything does come. We got pretty lucky last year with almost no winter,
That was easy.
So, yeah, so we'll see. A lot of people that I know that have just recently moved here, like, winters here aren't so bad. And it's like, how long you been here? It's like 3 years. It's like, well, you missed a good one,
Well, if they caught 23, or if they missed 23,
yeah.
That was a winner.
That was a doozy.
Boy.
That was one that I remember from my childhood, my early days, those kind of winters all the time. But yeah, that was a whopper.
I was shopping in Havasu. I'm like, might need a winter place at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the last 2 years I don't know if I plowed snow 3 times. Super mellow. I barely have to do half my wood prep that I normally do. It's all still just sitting there. Okay.
Getting nice and seasoned.
Yeah. Oh, I'll burn like hell. Let's go.
So as you're progressing, I was going to ask, what was your ta-da moment when you realized that this can be with hard work, obviously, a business model, have a financial impact on your guys' lives?
The fab shop?
Yes.
It never did.
Still waiting?
No, I never. No, well, so I've transitioned mostly to shocks at this point. Like I'm a suspension guy. I do shock tuning, shock service. That's kind of been the program since about 2016. Oh. And I still fabbed for some years, but since 2020, I mean, I'll do it, like if I have to. Someone will call me into a job from time to time, but for the most part, it's just shocks, shock tuning, and that's it. That's when life changed.
Really?
That was learning how to shock tune was a life-changing experience, financially mostly, and for my freedom too. I was working, let's call it 9 days a week for a while because I just doubled up. I did the fab work I had to do to make the money I had to make, and then I was shock tuning for free from like 2014 to, I don't know, probably a year and a half before I started charging any money to do it.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to learn. And once I moved here, I could test right out of the house. I didn't have to load up on a trailer and go do stuff and then realize I failed and then go straight back. It's like if I failed, I knew in 3 minutes, go right back to the shop, rip stuff apart. Well, shop didn't exist yet. Go back to the carport, peel the shocks off, do whatever kind of hack work I was going to do to them at the time, and then go back out and see if I passed or failed. And you learn real quick. That's one thing you can ramp up really good in that if you have an eye for it. Really helps if you're. I came off of obviously motorcycles, but more than street bikes, I've done dirt bikes my whole life. And when you ride dirt bikes, you understand consequences, for your actions. If you hit a bad line, if you hit a rock, if things will take you out, things will crash you out. And when you have that eye, you can apply that to this off-road stuff, and like, okay, well, this is how this needs to move for it to not upset the chassis and yada yada yada. So you go through all that and try to apply it to valving and springing and figure out what you need to do, And that's the rest of that's history. I mean, I can't believe it's been this long. I wish I would have started 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is because I've only watched, like I ride mountain bikes kind of, but anyways, I watch videos of when they tear apart like a float 34 or whatever, or float one of the rear shocks, and the amount of pieces and specialized tools that it takes to get these things apart. Is that the same way on the automotive side as well?
I'd say now, yes. When I started, there wasn't things like live valve shocks, and they have all these crazy seal heads and stuff. You could just, if you had a spanner and a metal pick, you could get into a shock, make a change and whatever. But like your motorcycle, mountain bike, dirt bike, quad, all the smaller stuff, this is very complicated. That's very complicated suspension compared to the big boy stuff that's on your bigger side by sides and all our Ultra 4 stuff and desert trucks and whatnot. Those are, I hate to say it, they're easier to work on than the little stuff.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah, I was looking at it. I was like, I had an old shock, and I was like, maybe I could rebuild it. And I watched the video, and I'm like, maybe I cannot. And I knew there's just all the amount of money I'd spend buying the tools just to get in there would have cost more than just giving to somebody to rebuild it.
Absolutely. I tell people that a lot. I mean, everyone's got a side-by-side now. And if you have Fox internal bypass or live valve shocks on your side-by-side, and you're only planning on working on your shocks and not working on, hundreds of shocks, the cost to ramp up to do that service, don't bother. It's, I'm not trying to discourage anyone from getting into that game. It's a great game, and there's plenty of room in the industry. So yeah, feel free, but plan on, if you want to work on every different kind of shock and you want to be able to tune every different kind of shock, get yourself about $500,000.
No shit.
Well, by the time I got all my tools and all the different things I need to have on hand and all the shims, like if you want to use King shims in King shocks, you don't have to. You can use ADS if you want, the heat treated chromoly versus Sandvik shims, whatever. But if you want to do King heat treated chromoly shims in your shocks, I think if you're paying retail, it's like $6 a disc now. And then every shock is, let's say every shock's got 30 discs in it. Well, we might overshoot it. Let's call it 30 discs per shock. And you're going to maybe have to have every different thickness, every different diameter, and you're going to go up to a 4.5-inch diameter shock. So you're going to have, there's a lot that goes into it.
Wow.
And, I ramped up early on. I feel like I don't buy that much anymore. But, you do a lot of exchanging. It's freaking, I would not want to ramp up now to do it. No. I get a way better deal on them. But, like, if you're just paying retail, oh, boy, it's going to hurt.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, you've been doing this long enough now that I think there's, in your line of business, there's probably a lot of room for error, a lot of room for mistakes.
Yeah.
What's the very first one that comes to mind that you've had that it was your real holy shit moment?
Mistakes in the shock tuning?
Yeah, we'll start there.
Oh man. I think so. Fox makes a shock, and they're probably one of the first people to mass produce an internal bypass shock for, I don't know, there's a lot of different applications, but the first time I came across it was for Ultra 4 and a Fox internal bypass shock, and thinking I understood how that worked and could make it better and whatnot from the get-go. Those shocks have handed me my ass more times than not. And if you know what you're doing, if you understand that shock and there's no flaws in the vehicle and the geometry going forward, it's a great shock, and sky's the limit with the tuning, but you have to be on your game. You have to understand everything about it. You have to be willing to do welding, machining, making all kinds of changes to these things so that they'll move the way you want them to. And there's a particular car manufacturer out here, or Ultra 4 car manufacturer out here, that builds a 4800 car and puts these shocks on it. And I have referred those people to a fellow down south who's really, really good at those and those cars. And they're like, no, we'd rather work with you. I'm like, oh, great. I guess I'm going to lose $10,000 in labor right now, which I did on both cars, And it's, I enjoy working with them, but one of the guys is local here. super cool dude. He said after this season's over, he's got a couple more races, but after the season's over, he's going to let me cut up the back of the car and put a different shock package on it and make the back of the car more like the cars I build or used to build. And because I know those work. It's effortless. Like so I had a guy with that car that I was talking about that's a little harder to tune. He went for a ride in my personal race car, and he kind of downplayed it like, oh, no big deal, whatever, even though he tapped out, like, he was riding with me and he tapped out in like the first mile. He's like, okay, that's enough, whatever, let's go back. And he's like, oh, that's pretty good, whatever. 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, can I get a chassis? I was like, yeah, we got this one right here. He's like, all right. This dude, what a savage. He takes this thing, and in, I don't know if it was 2 whole months, and running the rest of his business, but he takes a bare chassis, transfers everything from his old car onto this new car, including the same shocks that you have, those 3.0 Fox IBPs we're talking about, throws it all on there, goes out there, finishes King of the Hammers for the first time.
No shit.
And then we missed each other a couple years trying to tune it. He doesn't have a lot of time. I want him down there at Hammers. I don't have any time. So, we didn't cross paths. And then this year he's down there, and he came out to the tune spot, with plenty of time, where I'm like, okay, yeah, we're going to have to go hard and put some work into this thing, because on the old car it was not very good. No, he came with the old tune, everything in the shocks that was the same as it was, same spring rates, everything. Comes ripping through the tune spot, things just eating whoops. And I'm just like, well, that proves that point. And I kind of forgot about it when I've been working on these other cars. And then someone reminded me of that the other day. And I'm like, so I reviewed the video, and I was like, no shit. So I think I just want to cut up one of these cars, put my back half on it, and then show it to the owner or the builder of these cars and be like, hey, just rework this a little bit on me. I'm not wanting nothing out of it other than it's going to make everyone's life a whole lot easier tuning the cars. And then those cars can be on the podium. They're already on the podium. They already do really well, but they could just be better. They could leave everyone way further behind.
So you said that there's plenty of room for competition in your business, in your line of business. It sounds like, and I can tell just from your social media presence that a lot of people do rely on you to get their shit done, and this is all over the country.
Yeah.
So
not so much anymore. I've got a guy. Oh, thank you. I've got a guy in Pennsylvania. He just kind of, I didn't really train him up, but he just, he's a very sharp dude anyways, and he kind of figured out everything on his own, more or less. But, he came and shadowed me and my other buddy for a little while at Hammers, couple years in a row, and now he's doing it on his own, and that might be his only gig at this point. He looks busy, and I'm freaking stoked for him. So I don't have to go back there. And then my other buddy in Kentucky, he's slaying it. He's just, I think it was 2018. I went out. I did like a 3-week, 4-week tour back east, and did Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, Texas, whatnot. And I met him in Tennessee at a park called Adventure Off-Road Park, AOP. Everybody knows it as. Met him there. This guy's like, I'd never met him before, and he's just like, hey, I want to learn how to do this stuff. And I was like, fuck, you're gonna learn how to do this in my game, man. You're not stepping on my toes. And then we just started bullshitting for a while. I was like, geez, it'd be nice if I didn't have to, and I do love going to the South. Love it down there. Fantastic people, tons of fun. I don't like the mud. I don't like the rain when I'm back there, and it always does when I'm there. I'm like, you know what, Chris? I think this would be a great job for you. so he took over. Pretty much, he's running the whole show back there. That whole kind of Midwest, north to south corridor. That's his game. He's killing it.
Wow.
And love it for him. He's building chassis too, and axles and all kinds of cool stuff, ramping up like a son of a gun. He's made a name for himself, and he's a very talented tuner as well. So I'm just stoked.
So this is something you don't necessarily go to school for. You're basically trial by fire.
Yeah, good luck going to school for that. I think your best chance of school for this kind of thing would be to go work for a company, whether it's a manufacturer, your Foxes, Kings, ADS, or something like that, where they just throw you at the wolves, figure it out, and great. Other than that, I don't know where you would I don't know where you would learn it other than, you can try to watch stuff on YouTube, but it's very, very far and few between. And a lot of people that are peddling shock tuning on YouTube, I don't know that they actually know what's going on. They're like, yeah, you're restacking shims, whatever, that's fine. But without, proof videos of what changed and whatnot, I don't tend to believe that they actually did the right thing or not. So
in your eyes, what separates some YouTube dude versus what you and your buddies are doing? I mean, how do you differentiate that?
I think results would probably be the biggest thing. We have proof. We've got before and after videos of a lot of vehicles. Like, this is what it does now, and then customer testimonials, podiums, lots and lots of podiums.
Proofs in the pudding.
That's you can't take all that. I can't put all that squarely on my shoulders. It's not like, oh yeah, the shock tune put this guy on the podium. There's many different aspects to things that allow that to happen. You have to have a fantastic engine builder, engine tuner, transmission builder, diff builder, chassis manufacturer. Got to be a hell of a driver. You got to have a hell of a pit crew, support crew, whatever else that goes with it, and you got to be pretty freaking lucky. So, yeah, it's just one piece of the puzzle.
What is the? I mean, you'd mentioned the shocks have changed, right? But they're getting more complicated for you to work on as well. I mean,
Yes.
are you still learning stuff
Every day.
Every day.
Every day there's something new that they're going to throw at you. I'd say the biggest offender is Fox.
Yeah, they love changing things up on you.
They don't just like changing it. They just like making miserable parts and pieces that your techs just have to fight forever or make some special new tool to deal with. And it's you can. I'm mad at them for that aspect of things. I get it. You got to make the product as cost effective as possible, so there's still a profit margin and a reasonable price for the consumer. But man, some of that stuff is like, really, guys, you're just messing with us at this point, aren't you? But everyone, I'm not going to be the first one to figure out a lot of those things. Someone else is already going to sort it out for me. Typically, like, I have not charted new territory with any of the new fancy Fox stuff, and it's really cool tech. You can't be mad at, like, all this live valve stuff, and the technology that's going into that is absolutely insane. I love that. As mad as I am at Fox about a lot of stuff, I own a Fox vehicle. I have a live valve Maverick R, and it's amazing. So can't be mad at them. At least, let's say just the owner will be thrilled. Like, whoever owns a product from them, you're probably going to love it. The people that have to work on it are going to fight it, and they're going to probably be a little mad, but it's no big deal.
So when the first time you tear into one of these things, like, do you really don't even know what you're going to be opening up or do you kind of have some sort of an idea with the newer stuff?
I don't know, man. It's a crapshoot. I mean, it's always the same kind of thing. Like, you open the shock and you've got, you have, for a Fox internal bypass, you have a piston, an inner body, and then their seal head design changes regularly. I'm really not mad at that now. Like, you can get into them fairly easy. But then, like, this live valve, I don't think it was Fox's design. I think this was Polaris's thing. They wanted to do, like, what we call crash locked. So when there's no power to the live valve, the shock it can rebound, it cannot compress. It is locked up. You can't work on it. You can't push down a seal head to pull a snap ring out. You have to power up the live valve to get it to allow things to flow. And then there's all these different, I own 4 different ways to power up a live valve to open it, and most don't work. So I usually just go back to, like, this 10 volt. I've got a Optima battery that sits there at about 10 volts, and I use that thing to do it most of the time. It's just, I did 6 of those damn things today. And, I always like to try the other tools I spent a bunch of money on first, and they just never work. So I just go back to old trusty, and here we go. In and out, done. I just don't leave it plugged in for a while, because it's probably hard on that little spool, or it's like a spool valve solenoid thing. So I'm sure it doesn't like having full power to it all the time, but whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think one of the cool things that I talked about earlier is, you've been able to, get out and do this stuff on your own, and really, I think it plays big into, the blue collar workers of the country. I think that, we're in a weird spot now. Like you had said earlier that, you're one of a few people that does this. And I think that the trades are kind of in their same way, finding it's harder to find people that are good at what they're doing anymore. What's your take on that? I think, for the future in blue collar jobs.
I don't know how we're going to make a generation of people that are interested in doing this stuff. Like I had a kid come, what do you want to say, intern with me, what was it, a couple weeks ago now. And he's just so over the top good at stuff. And he's a smart kid, and he could, if we wanted to talk dirt bikes right now, I don't know, you could probably go back to model year 2005, and he would tell you everything about every dirt bike that was ever made right up to now. And he's just this wealth of knowledge. Like if you give him something he's into, he's just over the top good at it. And whenever we'd be at Sand Mountain, I always bring my stuff to Sand Mountain, whether it's a party weekend or not, or week, and I'll have all my stuff, so I'll do some work. And he'll skip rides and stuff with his family, and he'll just come hang out in the trailer and work with me. And I'm just like, this, he's the model human of what we need for the future, and he's a rare unit. Like, he's badass. If he if he graduates, he's got a couple years left, or he'll have his license end of this year. I mean, I might be like, hey, you want to I'll get my cabin remodeled, be like, you can live in my cabin, and if you want to do shocks and work here for a while, if that's the life you want to live for a bit, fantastic. His dad's a badass electrician, which, what kind of money's in that? I mean, you can absolutely kill it in that too, if you want to do it. So, I mean, we'll see what kind of path he chooses in life. Loves dirt bikes. We did some shocks. We did a lot of dirt bike stuff. He drugged me around the mountains for a few days, and I'm still tired. Yeah. But we need people like that, and I don't know how to motivate today's kid to do that when their big plan is they're going to be like a YouTube influencer or something like that. It's like, I don't, maybe you're going to be famous. Like Daniel Tosh, him, Tosh.0. He, one of his stand-up things, it's pretty funny. He's like, he goes into this tirade about, oh yeah, everybody gets their 15 minutes of fame. No, they don't. That's 0 for you, and you. 20 years, 0 for you. You know what I mean? It makes sense. Not everybody's going to be famous, so dig in and figure out what you can do to get rich.
I mean, you think about the 15 minutes of fame even is wild to me, because you have these people that like, let's look at the changing aspect of cinematography, right? I mean, we're talking now with AI coming in that eventually, and it's happening faster than we know, that you won't even need actors and actresses anymore. I mean, you'll have a coder be able to write this AI thing that the AI guy is going to do this. You're going to have an entire script written. I mean, it's all going to be created by computer, right? But my point is that one of the things I love is when I listen to Mike Rowe and his love for the blue collar worker, and how he can go and he can speak to, tech companies, and he can go speak to, big multi-million-dollar shops and stuff like that, and say, we need people on the front line. We need people that are going to come in and actually fix the things that are broken, right? You can't replace those guys. And still no motivation from the youth in that to think, there's a golden opportunity for me to go out there and actually do something good, and they don't.
It's terrifying, honestly. I mean, you've probably seen the movie Idiocracy, right? 2006, supposed to be a comedy. It's a documentary. I mean, and it was supposed to be 500 years, and we knocked that out of the park in 20. I mean, we are right there.
Overachievers, yeah.
Dude, so I don't know if they ever expected it to go that way, but it sure did. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to get kids on board with. I mean, we're all tied to our phones. I'm addicted to my phone. I'm 45 years old, and I'm stuck on that thing all day. And if it wasn't my business, I probably could set it down. I'd probably still be screwed around with Facebook and Instagram. But that's the only socials I allow myself. I don't do anything else. So.
It's tough because, like you said, for your business, right? You're out there trying to sell yourself. And I mean, not that necessarily selling yourself, but showing people your work and the results that come with that. I think that's a huge deal. And this is the ultimate way to advertise now. Running ads in the record courier isn't it, right?
No.
But point being is that we're at a point now where it's like Meta knows that. They know that they're the only option, and they've found ways to just make it. Because I can go with the podcast, same thing. I don't need to be on my phone all the time. I don't need to be scrolling past the same fucking reels that I already liked a month ago,
right.
or whatever, right? And seeing this stuff that ads is essentially just garbage that I'm not even looking for. I think you had commented on a post of mine earlier, about, just go click on the friends tab, and it's great. You get to see like 4 or 5 people's things, and then it's like, then it's ads,
Right.
It's a little bit better, but it's still not why I'm there. Right.
Right.
I had saw this week that the owners of MySpace are bringing it back, and it's going to be a algorithmic feed.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like it used to be in MySpace, where it was purely, by date and time.
I hate
sequential.
that I can't even remember. Like, I can kind of picture how that was, and I remember that you kind of had to know how to lightly code to like build your wall and do all that stuff. I don't remember the format. I hate that I can't get in it. I mean, technically, I probably still have a MySpace profile somewhere in the ether. I'd have to like fire up Photo Bucket or something to like, get all the pictures back and whatnot. But I kind of miss that, because I know there was like an inbox there, like we had with Facebook and all that. And like I would love to see the original messages with my wife. Like that'd be super cool, but it's gone.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they bring it back around like that, and I can fire it up.
It's really funny because this has been years now, but at one point I was like, once Justin Timberlake bought MySpace.
Oh, he bought MySpace?
He did, and I think he sold it now. I'm assuming, but so he turned it like into a pure music. He wanted it to be like a just music based social media. And so I went in there one time. My login still worked, and I somehow remembered it. And I got in there, and it was like, oh no, it was like. So it was so neat to see, because like everything is different but still very familiar,
Sure.
right? You still had the Tom there or whatever and waving high, and it was cool. Your top 8 or whatever, but it was just like it was all music stuff. But my point is that when we first got Facebook, we thought this is the greatest thing ever, and we were willing to throw away MySpace forever, and we did. And the next thing you know, it's like Facebook is one of the most atrocious, and it's addicting, and they know how to do it. They're coding it that way to make sure that you stay on there with the notification dots. And you ever watch the Social Dilemma?
No, I haven't seen that.
Fuck, you got to watch that.
Okay.
It is it's the saddest, scariest documentary about social media and the way that they work. And now it's with AI. It's even crazier. The level, the speed in which it's advancing to keep you addicted and on it.
Oh, sure.
And watching now, like, my son, he got a phone. We gave it to him when he was 13, and my daughter got one when she turned 13. And my son now, he went from he was so good when he first got it. He could give a shit less about the thing. And now it's like, I see him, and it's just me just reaming his ass all the time. Get off your phone. Put your fucking phone. You don't need to take your, like everything about his phone. And so we're, it's like app limits and timers and all the stuff we can do to try to like bring him out of it.
Right.
But the apps know exactly what they're doing to keep him engaged, to keep him engaging, where the first thing he wants to do when he wakes up is, I want
100%.
that, get that dopamine hit,
we all get it.
Yeah.
It's just fighting that's real tough. I don't know how to completely disconnect from it without ruining my business.
Right.
And granted, like, yes, I'll still have shock service, I'll still have tuning, but like I want to be on there, and I want to stay relevant for sales reasons. I want to sell products because it's a whole lot easier to go and get paid than it is to like ruin my hands and body and whatnot working on stuff. So
yeah, that's I think I kind of segued, but the point of with the podcast is I feel I the only way that people are ever going to hear this is if I keep pushing it at people. Well, the problem is that the algorithm is pushing other things so fast that you can you have this really good post, and you're obviously in a different boat. You have a lot more followers than I do, but it's amazing to me how I can have something. I'm like, oh, this is the good one. This is gonna be a banger, and then it's like 3 people see it, and I'm like, why? What did you go to ask? Like, what was wrong with that one? Nobody knows.
Like hashtag it something pro-Muslim or whatever. Go right to the top.
Maybe I'm going about it the wrong way. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad to back to the earlier point of figuring out a way to keep the kids coming up, because I know that one of my grows with the Row Foundation, the Row Works, trying to get the scholarships to get people into the academies, into the trades, and getting them and pushed out, because what's happening is all the baby boomers now are getting old enough where they're pawning off their companies, getting out, handing them to their kids or whatever, right? But there's this guy back east that all they were doing was buying up those companies, and then they were turnkey. They already had the reputation of, from the 60s or whatever, as a heating and air company or a plumber, and they get all the employees that come with it. They already have the building and all that stuff, all the equipment. They just have to know how to then manage said people. And if you go to school for business, or you have some sort of underlying management criteria that you can meet, and you can actually keep these people together and stay in there, they're turning these businesses into crazy businesses overnight and not having to do hardly any work.
Yeah, new fresh set of eyes on it with some drive. Fantastic. I love that idea. I don't know, man. What are we at? What's our current gen of like the next generation? It's like I always thought I was Gen X or Gen Z. What
Gen Z?
Which one was the? I'm right on the brink. I'm the first year millennial. So whatever was before that.
What are you? 80?
I'm 81.
Yeah,
I'm like a month into being a millennial.
Yeah.
And I was a Gen Z though, right? That was that's who I identify as. Yeah. But I think some of us early millennials are pretty badass. Just saying.
Yeah.
Crippled, and we all did it. We ruined our livers, and we ruined our bodies. Maybe jumping dirt bikes into stuff that stopped us.
Immovable objects.
That's right. That's right. It's not the speed that'll kill you. It's the sudden stop.
That's it too. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think that I try to get these kids, to, especially coming in, out of high school. It's like, you guys can have the world at your fingertips if you just fucking tried, if you just cared, Right. It's weird, the disconnect. I mean, not that I'm saying that I had my shit together in my late teens, early 20s, but at least the motivation to work with my hands and get in there and get dirty and wasn't huffing and puffing. We didn't have time to fuck around all the time on phones, and
right.
We didn't have phones to fuck around on, really. But
if you wanted something, you pretty much had to figure it out back then. Like, if mommy and daddy weren't going to pay for it, you're going to have to do it, figure it out. And now it's like, well, it's pretty mandatory that a kid gets a phone now. And you don't need a lot more than that anymore to be entertained. It sucks. It's like, oh, here's this, and this is everything you need these days.
That's it.
Hate it. But
it sucks. You have the world at your fingertips, and then you spend it on the most pointless shit, right? And I criticize myself in that aspect, because there's so many things I could be learning how to do or learning about, and yet I'm like, what's Phil doing?
100%.
How are they?
Yeah. And it's designed to control us one way or another, but if you can use it for your benefit, profit, betterment, great. I mean, it's done a lot for me. It's built my business. It's done it. I can't be mad at any of that. I can be mad at the AI though. Yesterday, AI got me on Instagram, and I get a lot of customers through Instagram Messenger, and that's where I prefer to deal with stuff. I don't like to take a lot of phone calls. I don't like people have my phone number when I don't, I don't need that thing ringing all the time. So I'll deal with a lot of people through Facebook and Instagram Messenger. And yesterday, Instagram's like, I can't remember exactly what they said, what their verbiage was, but it was basically like, this goes against our community standards, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, what goes against your community standards? Like, I don't even remember, I haven't even been drinking, so I probably didn't say anything bad. Oh, no, I didn't say anything bad at all. It was in regards to my Pennsylvania shot guy dealing with some OEM Fox stuff where when you put Schrader valves in these nitrogen caps, I know we're talking tech here, put Schrader valves in the nitrogen caps, sometimes the caps crack. So I was like, my comment was, I've had a few crack too, period. So odd, period. It's like, oh, I used the word crack. Okay, crack in the sidewalk, crack in my spine. What are we doing here?
fucking crazy.
So it took over. I did get, they didn't apologize, but they're like, oh, our technology made a mistake here. You've been restored. I'm like, how about, sorry, you're an arrogant asshole. Mm-hmm. No, didn't do that.
There's this guy, and I think he's the epitome of showing the deficiency in AI currently, the current models. He goes by husk.fr.
Okay.
I think. Husk dot something. Anyways, all he does is he takes his phone and he just fucks with AI. That's all he does. And I'm scared for him when they come to get us, but he's the first one to go. But he puts them to like these wild challenges. And if you have not gone and checked this guy, he's viral. You know, he's got millions of followers now. He's very funny in the tasks that he tries to make, very simple tasks. So he's got 3 phones, all with different models, has them sequentially count to 100. And they will not do it, right? He asked them one time to lie to somebody for them. And then so he starts essentially calling the AI that like the AI was being a wuss.
Yeah.
And the AI gets offended and stops lying for him. It's crazy to watch this. And the point that I'm trying to make is it's scary because you watch how these things are interacting with him, or interacting with each other, and we're absolutely fucked. So it's equally, it sucks because we're in this age of no data centers, right? No data centers anywhere. Nobody wants them. But we'll spend all fucking day using AI to do shit. It's just we don't want the stuff in our backyard.
No, I hear that.
So it's tough. It's either you got to give the shit up, or you got to just deal with the fact that it's going to take all of our water.
Well, how about we just idle with it right now and not go harder than it already is?
Yeah,
that'd be all right.
Yeah,
I mean, at this rate, people aren't making a whole lot more people. Mm-hmm. So we're not. I don't know where. Well, I don't know where we're at in this country as far as replacement rate and whatnot. But I don't think we're creating humans at a rate that we were. So do we really need that much more of everything?
Right.
We could probably just chill a little bit.
I would love to see. I mean, that's one of the things I think that a lot of counties need to be doing is just chilling. Let it marinate for a little bit and see kind of where we are lying. They're moving at the pace of trying to keep up with supply and demand, which is, I guess, it's the way it works. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Sure.
Right. But I'm looking at Carson as I drive to work, and the rate that they're building these big giant boxes everywhere, and like every fucking farmland that they can buy up to build boxes on, they're doing it.
That's it. Yeah.
And then eventually, when that's all done, my question is then what? Right. And that's one of the things I have a hard time processing, because we love to see our county. Our county needs to be doing good. Obviously, we need to be growing or we're dying.
Do we?
What does that look like at the end? When there's no, like, we are in valley. We're in a fishbowl essentially. Yeah. At what point do we go? I mean, Carson is way closer to building out than us, and now they're actually starting to head up into Mountain House and the developments out there, and when that's done, when Carson City has nowhere left to build, what's the next step there? What's the next phase?
I'm not sure. I know the Bentley's selling off pretty much everything. He pretty much lives in Scotland these days or whatever. Mm-hmm. So he's able to sell off all his stuff. I don't know how that works because he wasn't supposed to be able to sell it the way the trust was built. Maybe he had to like relinquish his American citizenship or something to do that. But we got that going down, and then I think the parks are gonna start, and then I don't know about Corley, but I know Settlemire had some land for sale. It's like if they sell all this stuff and build out this whole valley, well, we won't have any water left. There's just no way it can support it, and it's just gonna be houses. Like I haven't been across the East Valley in a minute.
Is that the way you came?
Oh, dude,
fuck,
wholly built.
Yes.
So and they're just stacking them in more and more. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the solution is here, other than I'll probably, I don't have kids, so when I die off, it's done. It's fine. I'm sorry for everyone else that has to live out the rest of this nightmare. But we'll probably go interior on this state. I love Nevada, mm-hmm. but we've got some spots we really like in the middle of the state that, there's no one there.
Right.
There's no one there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's the hard point. And I think we've talked about it at the bar a couple of times. I mean, the idea is you come to a place, you love this place, the place gets too big. You're essentially, I mean, I feel at this point I'm pushed out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to, I don't want to fucking be here anymore because it disgusts me, you know, and now it's like, well, there's going to be, you know, another 5,000 people here in the next 2 years, right? Or whatever the numbers are, it doesn't matter. And what does that look like? Well, we're going to build Muller Parkway. And I'm really making this very personal and localized, but we're going to build out Muller Parkway, and that's going to solve all of our fucking problems. And you go there and it's not done yet, right? But it's a piece of shit. It has no cohesiveness to, like, it makes no sense for timing. And then you're going to try to convince people to go around and save themselves what would typically be 0 minutes if the fucking town wasn't so full, you know? And then you don't allow trucks on it.
Yeah, no trucks and roundabouts everywhere.
No.
Like, dude, come on.
It's so fucking annoying.
Nails in the coffin here. Maybe. Well, if you talk to some people that have been here for 30 years, they're like, well, there's like a whole lot of nails in the coffin. For us, I mean, we still love it. We still love all the people the people that we know. There's a lot of newcomers. There's a lot of really good new people here. And then there's some that, you know, would not listen to this podcast if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So there's plenty of that. I don't have an answer. I just, you know, our big plan was, and COVID kind of threw a huge monkey wrench in the operation. We were going to probably finish our house, sell it, and move to Smith, and then just be in our kind of like retirement shop house out there kind of program. Got scared, decided not to buy land. Dumbest move I ever didn't make. So we still are, you know, we still have good value in our place, and we could still finish it and sell. But I think we're going to ride it out for quite a bit while longer. And you know, we had a big fire behind our house in 2020. We lost all the trees on the mountain. Then the beetles came in, killed all the pines. So we're kind of at this position now where we're replanting trees and whatnot. It's not a pretty place anymore. It was a little forest before. Now it's just looks like hell. So we'll probably get some trees up and then think about maybe once it's pretty again, we'll revisit the idea of selling and moving a little further out. I don't know. I don't have an answer. You got kids in school and stuff here.
Yeah, that's why we can't move.
Yeah, you're stuck for a minute. But I mean, absolutely gorgeous place. So.
Yeah, it's, you know, we're very blessed. You know, we found this place. We've been here for 12 years. It'll be 12 years in December.
Oh yeah, you won then too.
Yeah. So you know, but watching, you know, when Bree and I got together, we bought our first house out in Dayton, is all we could afford, and then this place came open, and we came here, and it was like, oh yeah, we have to have it, and we got beat out by some other guy, and then his paperwork ended up falling through, so we got a second chance at it. So it's, you know, it was amazing, and we've put a bunch of work into it to make it ours. But you know, living on a little cul-de-sac, it helps kind of suppress.
Oh yeah.
You know, what's going on when you go down East Valley, you know, or try to drive down 395 in the middle of you know, what's now a rush hour, you know. Yeah. Everyone's like, it's not so bad.
Nothing going on right here. This is sweet.
It's pretty nice. Yeah. So it's hard because I get kind of spoiled in this, but I work in North Carson, and so I come home every day at 4:00, and I get home, and it's just like I pull in the driveway, and it's like, check it out. Yeah, you don't bring that shit in the house. You know, and it sucks. I don't like to live like that, you know. No. But my wife moved here when she was 13.
Oh wow!
And so she knows the consequence of you know, leaving a school with all of your friends to a place that you know now nobody, into a culture she knew nothing about, right? Yeah. So she goes, we will not be doing that to our kids. So I'm stuck here until at least they go to go to college. So. It's fine.
You know, that moving around stuff shaped me a little bit. You know, I grew up in Massachusetts, and then 2 years in Tennessee. That was a move, man.
We're out in Tennessee.
I was in Germantown, right outside of Memphis.
Oh shit, yeah.
And that was 94, 95. And honestly, I had a blast. I met a whole lot of people. Huge cultural change, and met a lot of good people of all walks of life, and it really wasn't a bad experience. I feel like it you know, my yes sirs, yes ma'ams have stuck all these years since then, and I don't think it was a bad thing. I would never live there again, but I've spent a lot of time in Tennessee since then, And there's, I mean, man, Tennessee itself is just a beautiful place. But it's getting jammed up as people exit California. It's becoming a thing.
Yeah, it's you listen to people, and I think it's the same thing like you're talking about, knowing somebody that's been here since the 80s and watching the changes that have come with this. Now multiply that into the urban, atmosphere, and look at what, country music, recent country music stars have done to Nashville to create this, and the amount of absurd gestures that have been made, or just decisions that have been made based off these guys building these bars in downtown Nashville is crazy. Now I'm going to ask you, because we did Nashville for our I think it's our 15 year. Anyways, I think it was. But we went down to Beale Street. We did Memphis.
Yeah,
and dude, it was crazy, because I think our guy that drove us there, he goes, he's this probably like 20 something black kid, and he goes, yeah, my grandma lives in Memphis, and she won't let me come visit her anymore because it's too dangerous.
Yeah.
Right. And so he goes, he gives us all these like warnings about what to do while we're in Memphis. And luckily our hotel was only like a couple blocks down from Beale Street.
Yeah.
And but we're walking and all the CCTV everywhere, and it's like, dude, and everything's just sketchy. Like there's just sirens going off and all this, and I was like, dude, don't take the wrong turn, is what he told us. Like stay on where the TVs are.
Oh yeah.
And so, but the reason I'm telling you this is because I met some of the most amazing freaking people there.
Absolutely.
I mean, they were so kind. And there was this one guy, he's giving us direction, and I was like, hey man, can I buy you a drink? And he's like, I don't drink anymore, and I'm 10 years sober or whatever like that.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, can I get you in? He's like, you can get me some food. And I was like, oh yeah, what's going on? And he ended up being this homeless guy, right?
Yeah.
But the nicest man. And it was the shittiest part about it is I went there with the premonition of having an absolute terrible time. And I probably missed out on some of the coolest experiences because I was afraid of what I was.
You have to be vigilant, though.
You do. You must.
If you don't know what's going on, then reality is going to get you. And that is reality there. It's not always the fact. I mean, there's a lot of really cool people. I didn't go back a lot after I moved, but I was going back, 2018 or 19, whatever the last big tune trip I did. One of my buddies from there, Jeremy, he wanted to meet me, and we're going to go out on Beale Street and have drinks, have dinner, whatever that night. And I was like, all right, cool. The Pyramid in downtown. So it used to just be like a convention center. Well, now it's a Bass Pro shop.
Bass Pro, yeah.
You know what you can do at a Bass Pro, right? You camp there. So I have my race trailer, pull in, set up shop, and then Jeremy's going to come pick me up in like a half hour. I'm getting all situated. Cops come by, and they're like, hey, are you planning on staying here? I was like, yeah. I was just gonna go out with my friend and come back and go. They're like, sure, that's a good idea. I'm just like, well, I mean, I'm probably going to be pretty drunk and armed to the teeth. I mean, I'm good to go. They're like, all right, well, we're going to come check on you a bunch of times. I'm like, I truly appreciate that. Make sure you make it known who you are, because I'm probably going to shoot first, ask questions later. But me and Jeremy went out on Beale Street, had a fantastic dinner. Talked to a lot of random folks and whatnot, hit a couple bars, and then I crawled back into my trailer, and it was no big deal. When I left, I did make a mistake though. I should have been on the truck route with my app, and I ended up going through, I don't know what's north of that spot, but I went through an area north of there that is just, I know I'd been there before in the past, but it was looking pretty rough. Damn near 20 years later. Yeah, so went through there, a couple burning cars on fire upside down in the middle of the road. No big deal, whatever. Went through there, then it goes from hood to farmland. And then it's just gorgeous all the way to where I was going from there.
Yeah, we did Loretta Lynn's, and I think that going that part of the state is fucking gorgeous.
Dude, right?
It was so pretty, and I really, from what I've seen on TV and stuff, I had no idea that's what we were getting into. It was just like, oh my god, this is gorgeous. The whole drive was like that. It was so pretty. It's not like that on TV.
No, it's such a amazing place. I mean, you get all those few states together, and they're just green and gorgeous, and you can't duplicate that out here. But I'm okay with that because like every time I go back there and do stuff, I'm like, oh, I should buy a little piece of dirt here and hang out and whatnot. Like that's just not going to happen. Go back there, visit, whatever. I like my open spaces. Nevada's vacant.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
You just go a little bit east and do whatever you want. And I need that. I need my public land. I need my open spaces.
Yeah.
You don't have that there.
No. Nope. And it's one of those things where you just hope that the powers that be just keep their heads out of their asses, and
right.
It's time will tell.
That's right.
All right. Well, I guess this is our opportunity for you to let and point everybody that's seeing this in your direction where they can find you on socials or anything you have coming up that's noteworthy that we can talk to them about.
Okay. So my socials, I mean, geez, I guess on Facebook it's just my name, Phil Licciardi. You can't add me, it's full, but you can follow me. And it's not that interesting, but I do talk a lot of crap about different things, good or bad. That's just how I am. I don't care. I don't need to be kind about certain products, and I don't care about people's feelings if they built something I don't like. So got that, and then I've got Liberty Mountain Fab on Instagram. It's probably Liberty MTN FAB. Probably some underscores in there. If you can't find it, it doesn't matter. No one cares. You'll be fine.
Do you have YouTube?
No, I was thinking about doing that though. I do want to do a YouTube channel, maybe for monetary reasons, where it's called so your shocks were just rebuilt.
That's a segment.
And yeah, I think that's going to be the whole YouTube channel.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll purchase shocks off of Marketplace or wherever I might find shocks that they claim that they were just rebuilt. And I'm going to do it with my YouTube money, so it's not coming out of my personal, and I'm not going to beat them up on the price or anything for maybe a little for entertainment. But then what we'll do is we'll break the shocks down and show you why they probably weren't just rebuilt and everyone's full of shit.
Ooh, I love this.
So just keep an eye. If you have shocks on anything and you're into this game at all, I trust like 6 people on this planet to rebuild your shocks. And I think, most everyone else is just doesn't care. They're just in it for the money and they're not going to try real hard. So sorry, that's my reality. Doesn't mean everybody's reality is going to be like that. Yeah. Sad.
It is very sad.
It's a bleak outlook.
Well, it seems like you're in a good position for it then.
Yeah, maybe.
To be in the business.
We'll see. I mean, if it pops, that'll be fun because then maybe there'll be people all over the country. Like people send me stuff all the time. Oh, I just need a revalve. They were just rebuilt. And I'll break them down and I'll break it down on video because they might not believe me how bad things are. I'm like, this is really bad. And some of the manufacturers of shocks are the worst offenders with rebuilding stuff.
Really?
I'm not gonna name names. But if you follow my Instagram, you'll probably see me allude to some different stuff that you can probably figure it out.
Well, and I guess, for me, if you're already watching this, you already know how to find me. You've already found me. I do appreciate you guys, your continued support and putting up with the bullshit that I throw at you guys every episode with whatever it is. And, we've been very blessed with the guests that we've had. We're working on this September will be 4 years of this podcast. So, we'll be going into our 4th year. So it's, crazy to me that some of you guys have been here for that long. And I just wanted to, use this as an opportunity to say thank you. Phil, thank you for joining me. I'd like to, kind of close out with a little bit of a toast to the builders, the fabricators, the tradesmen, entrepreneurs, and craftsmen who continue to prove that hard work and quality still matter. Here's to earning your reputation, building things that last, and leaving every project better than you found it.
All right. Here's to getting honor, staying honor. If you can't come in, come honor. That was a toast to honor.
Cheers, guys.
Bourbon and Ballistics. One good pull. One honest conversation. Welcome to Bourbon and Ballistics.